Beal, and a big determining factor was Draymond Green fouling out.
Yeah, fouling out with 2:44 left. As you see this play, the Warriors get the steal on the press there. Westbrook didn't want the 8-second violation. Bazemore comes up with it. Wiggins, eye off the glass, and he doesn't get the roll. And basically, that was his night. Wiggins goes 5 for 20 and 0 for 7 from the three-point line for 14 points. Curry was human tonight, 7 for 25. And 18 points, and of course with a three-point line, 2 for 14. And as you guys said, we'll talk about Curry here, but Draymond Green fouling out with 2:44 left, not having their defensive captain down the stretch really hurt the Golden State Warriors. But let's talk about Curry because he had 11 straight games of 30-plus points. That was a record for a player who was 33 and older, and he surpassed Kobe Bryant on Monday night. But the streak snapped tonight, and the MVP momentum that he had going on is coming to a halt for now. He'll see Jokic on Friday night, but Mully, just a rough night for Steph Curry, especially from the three-point line.
Yeah, and it was a concerted effort by the Wizards to take away the three-point shot. Steph got some good looks he usually makes, and they were very physical with him. They used length and strength on him, but this was good news for the Wizards. I'd say it's horrible news for the Denver Nuggets.
For sure. And, you know, it's going to be games like this. The run that Steph had been on these last few games, getting 30 points a night, has been impressive. He ran into a team that did a great job with throwing different bodies at him and showing them different defenses. So it's going to be nice like this. The bench did a great job with picking up the slack as well. So it's a lot to take away from this game, but it's definitely a tough loss.
Got great contributions from Kelly Oubre, Jordan Poole, Kent Bazemore. Yeah. And a lot of those was because of the defense that Steph was drawing, was opening up those guys.
No doubt. Steph Curry joined Rex Chapman on his podcast and made a bold proclamation. That's something we will get into a little later. Made a bold proclamation about the MVP award. But let's talk about Bradley Beal because he's chasing Steph Curry for the scoring title now. They're going back and forth. Curry averaging 31.4 points per game. Bradley Beal at 31.1. And he struggled for the most part tonight, 8 for 21, but he made big buckets down the stretch. The Real finished with 29 points and 10 rebounds and forced that foul on Draymond Green to foul him out, and he made the plays down the stretch to win this game, just like he did April 9th.
Bonte, he made it hard on Wiggs. That did a great job with using his length, and disrupting his shot, and that's the reason why he shot 8 for 21. But he found a way. He got to the free throw line and kind of got him going. That was almost half his points. So he's a tough coverage, but I thought Wiggins and the whole team did a great job with trying to make every shot tough on him.
Similar to Steph Curry, you can guard Bradley Beal very well strategically, individually. He's still going to get his points. Yep. 8 for 21 from the field, but 11 for 11 from the field. More importantly, when they needed him to come through, that star backcourt of Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal were there to get the Wizards the win.
Just like they did April 9th, they're chasing her, Beal and Westbrook down the stretch, taking that basketball game over. And look, the Warriors were in it because of Kelly Oubre Jr. coming off the bench for the second straight night. And the Warriors were down 19 early in the second half. And Kelly Oubre Jr., got it going early and often, finishing with the team-high 24 points, 9 rebounds, and a couple block shots. Oubre brought it off the bench tonight and kept the Warriors in this basketball game.
One thing I can tell you, it's always fun playing against your old team. And, Oubre came out with a lot of energy. He did a little bit of everything tonight. That was a great block on Robin Lopez and a no 3 times on the floor. But I thought Oubre played well tonight. This is great for him to move on and build on. So we'll see if he's in the starting lineup or, he continues with his bench role. But either or, I think he's still going to bring that same energy.
Oubre played a great game, impactful minute, 37 minutes coming off the bench. So it doesn't matter if he starts or comes off the bench. He's productive and impactful.
No doubt about it. Played the entire first half after he checked in midway through the first quarter, but a brutal loss for the Golden State Warriors. Another one they're going to look back at and say, we should have had that one. Disappointing nevertheless, and we'll hear from Steve Kerr on his tough loss to the Washington Wizards as the Wiz win 8 of their last 9 and sweep the Golden State Warriors. More coming up on Warriors Post Game Live. A half game behind the San Antonio Spurs. 2 back in the loss column. 3 back in the loss column of Memphis and 4 back of the Dallas Mavericks, who they'll see next Tuesday night. So the Warriors drop back under 500 tonight after that tough loss to the Washington Wizards. And that is brutal right there as the Warriors give away the lead there. 11-point lead in the fourth quarter, Bully. And these are the games you got to win.
Yeah, they played well enough to win. They just didn't have enough to close the game out. You got to give credit to Russell Westbrook. Didn't shoot the ball well, winds up with a big-time triple-double, 14 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists. Bradley Beal, the star power took over. Steph Curry had a human game,
right?
But he'll get back on track. But I mean, this could have been a 4-on-1 road trip. They were 3-2. That's a good trip. They just got to regroup and get ready for Denver.
No doubt about it. Let's take a look at Curry's best moments against the Washington Wizards. Remember, coming into this game, he had averaged over 28 per game against the Wiz, the most against an opponent. You see here, April 2nd, 2017 against Washington, 42 points and 9 threes. And in 2018, he dropped 51 against the Washington Wizards, 11 3-point. And look, he didn't even play the fourth quarter. 51 through 3 quarters. Didn't play in the fourth quarter. That one back in 2018 against the Wizards. And then you have tonight where he goes 7 for 25, 2 for 14 from the 3-point line. 18 points, did have the 8 assists and 7 rebounds. But Darrell, the Wizards did a great job, as you mentioned in the first segment here. They did a great job trapping him and getting the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, and not only us, the whole world is seeing what Steph Curry's done over the past month. So they were locked in. You could tell they came in, they had a game plan, and they executed it. Make it hard on Steph Curry and see if anybody, the other guys can beat us. And that's exactly what they did tonight.
Yeah, and he's coming off an historic 11-game run. Just ridiculous. And, so you're going to have a game like this some course of the season, but all the while he was still opening up his teammates. Oubre, Poole, and Wiggins were recipients of all the defense that was attracted to Steph Curry. So, he still put his team in a position to win. They weren't able to get it done. But I think, they'll rebound quickly when Denver gets to town.
And no doubt fans will be at Chase Center Friday night when they host the Denver Nuggets, a team they beat last Monday night, of course, at Chase. And don't forget, later on in the program, we're going to break down why the Warriors were so successful when Curry got double-teamed tonight against the Washington Wizards. You'll want to see that breakdown here. But let's take a look at the updating points per game leaders in the NBA. And by point one, Curry still holds that slim lead over Bradley Beal. This is going to be a fun battle down the stretch. You see Dame Dollar third there, but the race right here between Beal and Steph Curry. Speaking of Curry, here's what he had to say on the Rex Chapman podcast about possibly winning the MVP, or did he think he was the MVP? Check this out.
Real quick, are you the MVP this year?
I mean, I gotta be.
Okay, all right.
I probably won't get it, but I mean, whatever.
No, don't say that.
Keep going like this, that nobody will be able to.
I'm just setting
keep this going.
I like to be dramatic sometimes, so I'm just setting the table.
I know you do.
All right, so he thinks he's the MVP. He should think he's the MVP. He's played at a high level, and we know this MVP race, even though Curry thinks he's the MVP, doesn't think he's going to get it, he's still up there in the conversation with Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, who they'll see Friday night.
Absolutely. He's battling Bradley Beal for the scoring champion of the NBA, but the 3 top MVP candidates being Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Steph Curry. Yes, Denver has more wins, and Philadelphia 76ers. But what Steph has done, I just look at the historic numbers he's put up these last 11 games, the fact that he's doing all this, facing double and triple teams without his backcourt partner, Klay Thompson. Coming into this season, I thought Steph was going to have to be a volume shooter to get his points. It's actually been the quite opposite. He's been a volume scorer, leading the league in scoring, but ultra efficient. Almost a 50-40-90 guy, which is unheard of for a guy leading the league in scoring. So those top 3 guys are all big-time candidates, and to me, it's Steph Curry. But that's taking nothing away from Jokic and Embiid.
And I agree with you 100% with Klay Thompson being out, most valuable player. Who's the most valuable to their team? And I think Steph Curry, out of all those guys that's in the race, is the most valuable to his team. The things he's done, how he's led this team to where they are right now, and a lot of people kind of canceled this season for the Warriors when Klay Thompson went down. So I think he's the most valuable player, and he's the most valuable to his team as well.
And he was valuable to Jordan Poole tonight coming off the bench. Jordan Poole with 22 points, and this kid looks like a certified NBA player. Darrell did it all here tonight. 6 threes, including 2 big ones there in the fourth quarter that seemed like it was going to give the Golden State Warriors a victory. But ever since he got back from the G League, there's been some ups, there's been some downs, with Jordan Poole settling in nicely coming off that bench.
Yeah, and the downs are part of the game, but it's how you react to it and how you bounce back. And I thought Jordan Poole did a great job tonight he's been doing a great job since he's been back from that G League bubble, staying aggressive, looking for his shot, and also sharing the basketball when the defense steps up. So I think he's playing some great basketball. He could be a big upgrade to this bench moving forward. He just got to continue to stay focused and stay locked in.
And Bonte, I agree with you. He's established himself as a big-time NBA player. He can be a starter or a big-time player off the bench. His shot making is incredible. And I just love his decision-making, his quick decisions, that 0.5 basketball we talk about. When you get the ball, you're shot ready, put it down on the floor one, two, or three times, or just move it along. And he's very decisive, 6 of 10 from the three-point line. And he got going. We thought he put the game away.
Yeah.
Right.
They got up by 9 because of Jordan Poole. Washington made that comeback, but he's really established himself in a positive way.
No doubt about it. The former first-round pick out of Michigan really establishing himself on this team, looking like an NBA player. Let's hear from Steve Kerr in just a second as we look at the scoreboard from tonight. And again, the Warriors were up 11 in that fourth quarter, and the Wizards go on a 21-6 run at Capital One Arena out there in D.C. The Warriors are going to be thinking about this one all night long on that cross-country trip back to the Bay Area. They go 3-2 on this 5-game road trip, but they didn't get the production from their stars, Andrew Wiggins and Steph Curry, going to combine. I can't believe this, a combined 12 point here. Let's hear from the head coach, Steve Kerr, on tonight's loss.
Our beat reporters first, please.
Hey, Steve, what would you say were the biggest factors in the lead evaporating in the fourth?
I think it was fatigue. Gareth, I think we were just exhausted. I think we just ran out of gas last 7 minutes or so. We had a good lead, seemingly in control, and we just couldn't get it done. I thought Russell Westbrook was fantastic, kind of took over the game in the fourth. And I think the trip just caught up to us. I think our guys just looked completely gassed.
Does this one sting more because of what the bench did? I mean, I think they were plus 17 when Steph was off the floor tonight.
Yeah, they all sting. If you lose, it stings for one reason or another. So the bench has been really good, over the last couple of weeks. So I feel great about our team. I feel great about where we are as we head home. We got a lot of good stuff to look forward to. And it's unfortunate we couldn't wrap this up because it would have made it a fantastic trip. But as it is, still a good solid trip, and we're in a good spot. We just have to get some rest and regroup and get home, sleep in our own beds.
Steve, you were saying the other night that teams were going to start throwing even more bodies at Steph with the way he's been playing. As far as tonight goes, do you think it was what the Wizards were doing defensively, or do you think it was just he was missing the shots he got?
It's always a combination, Nick. I thought the Wizards played well defensively, did some good things to get the ball out of Steph's hands, but nothing that Steph hasn't seen before. So just as I said, I thought we were gassed. I thought that included in Steph and everybody. We just didn't look like we had our legs out there tonight.
Steve, as you go forward, it's a great opportunity to get back on the West Coast, get back home and eat your own food, sleep in your own beds, and be at home and play some Warriors basketball. Just talk about moving forward.
Well, we've got a lot to look forward to. We've got fans coming into our building for the first time in a couple of nights, and that's going to give us a lot of energy, a lot of juice. We got a lot of guys playing well. We've got a good groove, a good rhythm, and hopefully we'll get Damian and Juan back pretty soon. But I like the position we're in. We've got a lot of home games to try to take advantage of and continue to build on our momentum from the last couple of weeks.
What did you think about what Kelly was able to give you guys off the bench?
Kelly was great. He brought great energy. He's had a really good approach, to the circumstances. And, it's not easy to go from starting most of your career to, suddenly coming off the bench. Not easy for anybody. So I think Kelly has handled things beautifully, played great tonight. It really gave us a chance to win. It just didn't quite work out.
What do you think of Jordan?
Jordan was great too. When he knocked down those 2 threes back to back, it seemed like we were in great shape and had really good energy. And, he's been a big part of this second group and the resurgence of that unit. Just giving us the scoring and playmaking that he has. Jordan has really stepped up.
Were you a little bit surprised that group was so good despite not having D. Lee or Juan?
Well, not really, because we were able to bring Kelly in, with who normally has been starting all year. So Kelly gave us the firepower we needed, we've had a good rhythm with Jordan and Wiggs and Bays and Loon. So I thought that group really just picked up where it left off over the last couple of weeks.
Bazemore had 6 steals tonight, and maybe earlier in the season, some of those moments on defense could have been fouls for him. What do you see changing in him to have this kind of performance?
Well, he's always impacting the game. Bays always, night after night, you feel his presence, one way or the other. He brings great energy. He's got really good hands. He battles defensively. He's been in the league for a long time, so he's seen all the pictures in front of him. He knows what's coming. Really smart player, and he's been really good here, as we've bumped his minutes up over the last few weeks.
All right, let's take a look at that Toyota drive ahead. Of course, courtesy of Toyota, and the 3-game homestand coming up. It's a big one. Denver, Friday night, where the fans will be back at Chase Center. We'll talk all about that one on Friday, of course, and then Sacramento Sunday night. Got to win that game against the Kings. Right now they're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. They lost last night by 14. And then the Dallas Mavericks, the team right now holding down the 7th spot. But Luke and company have been struggling here. So what should the Warriors do here on this upcoming homestand? Should they tweak the starting lineup again and insert Oubre back in? Or keep Bazemore rolling, who had 19 points, Darrell, 6 steals tonight and 9 rebounds, and he was 4-6 on the 3-point line?
Both of them playing well. I like Baze, with the starting unit because he knows how to play with him. Oubre as well, but we always talk about the bench bringing scoring. I think Oubre coming off the bench, you see he can provide that scoring. So I'm kind of liking him coming off the bench, bringing that energy and scoring and the defensive mindset. So for right now, I'm staying put.
Yeah, I like the way things are now. The productivity of both players is what really matters, not who starts and who who starts the game. Kelly Oubre had a great game tonight. You see his numbers there. And he played 37 minutes. Right. Those are starter minutes. And then Ken Bazemore played 35 minutes. His efficiency was off the charts offensively. Defensively, he had 6 steals. I think the key here to that second unit, yes, Oubre's important, but the emergence of Jordan Poole, not only as a scorer, but as a ball handler and a playmaker. I think that has organized that second unit much better than it was earlier in the season. So now Jordan can handle the ball, Andrew Wiggins can handle the ball a little bit, and Oubre can be their scorer. So I think the emergence of Jordan Poole has really solidified that second unit.
That's a great point there. What happens when Pascal gets back with the left hip flexor strain? Does he play that small ball 5 again for that second unit? How do you think Steve Kerr will implement him back into this lineup?
I would think go small. They're playing small with the starters. Why not? I thought he played very well with the small ball lineup, small 5-man. So yeah, put him back in there, and I think he'd be able to fit in right away.
You say Eric Pascal, you know what he does.
Yep.
He can play the trail 5 in the small ball lineup. He's an ISO scorer, right? He's strong enough to guard in the post. So he could be another scorer off the bench.
Yeah, kid-based work had started, and I'm with you guys here. May not want to touch the starting lineup right now, especially if Oubre is giving you 37 minutes here, 24 points and 9 rebounds. Both of those guys play well, and we know the Warriors will go small a lot, especially down the stretch, so that means no Looney there. But we'll hear from Kent Bazemore on the other side. Plus, Andrew Wiggins didn't have the best game tonight, but he did make a bit of history. We'll explain here on Warriors Postgame Live, presented by Toyota.
Warriors. I know Troy.
Hey, Bully, your Jets are not taking Joe Namath, right? You got to get over that.
Joe Namath's not walking through that door.
No. Kid O'Brien, Boomer Esiason, Vinny Testaverde. Who else? Who else you want? Mark Sanchez?
Man.
He's not coming back.
Sack
either.
exchange?
No, he's done. All right, where are we going here, Sack? All right, Karen Burke is going to join us. That's right. Karen Burke will join us to talk about Steph Curry's streak ending. And then we're going to talk about Andrew Wiggins right now because he made history, becoming the highest scoring Canadian all time there. Look at that, over 10,000 points. He already had the record, but he scored over 10,000 tonight. Rick Fox, I didn't know Rick Fox was Canadian. Did you guys know that?
I knew that.
Damn, I didn't know that. He's a great actor, too. Tristan Thompson up there. Jamal Murray is going to surpass Tristan Thompson and Rick Fox. Get well soon. Jamal Murray and Kelly Olynyk. But Steve Nash, I had no idea who was born in South Africa, so he doesn't qualify for this. But Andrew Wiggins going down right now as the highest scoring Canadian of all time.
Congratulations, Andrew Wiggins. And he's having his best season in his career here with the Warriors. Perfect fit for him. And 10,000 points, eh?
Hey, that's a big milestone.
Buckets, baby.
Yeah, that's a big milestone. Congrats to two-way Wiggs. Like Mully said, I think he's playing some of his best basketball this season. And, man, he's surprising me every single night he gets out there.
No doubt about that. Let's hear from Ken Bazemore, who's been playing some good basketball, played good basketball tonight against the Wizards. He's on the podium trying to explain this tough loss to the Washington Wizards.
Hey, Kent. Steve Kerr has been ticking up your minutes lately, but he kind of said the trip caught up to you guys. You felt a little gassed, maybe didn't have the legs. Did you experience that feeling?
For sure. I mean, while you're out there, you're trying to do everything in your power to kind of push through. And it's been an emotional trip. Even the last couple of weeks before we left, finally catching our stride, a couple guys getting injured. It's just been, emotional roller coaster, so to speak. And JP had a big time. He had back-to-back threes, and we were kind of on cloud nine, and just kind of ran out of gas there at the end. Russ turned on the Jets, and those guys. He's a player that smells blood, and he's ready to attack. So, like I say, you take away the result, you just watch the film. We're still getting better, making some high caliber plays as a team. Even tonight, when our best player doesn't have it going, just to see the other guys step up, get stops, and give ourselves a chance.
Ken, what do you learn from losing two games so close in the fourth quarter?
It's just detail, margins, attention to the report, making adjustments. We had some tweaks there late that kind of kept them at arm's length, but they just kept coming. Bradley Beal is a special guy. I've been playing against him, way back since, I was in Atlanta. He's been here his whole career, so I know how special he is down the stretch. And then you had another guy like Russ when we're shooting out there at Bertine. So give him credit. They've been playing well as of late. I think it's 6 straight for them. So, they called us, at the end of this long trip. I feel like we've been on the road for 3 weeks at this point. My son's birthday was yesterday, and I'm, way across the country. So, looking forward to getting back.
Bazemore, James Hill with BNC Sports. Minnesota, a whole lot going on there yesterday. Can you share your thoughts on Minneapolis, Minnesota, and that area? And we look at social justice and social injustice and history. What do you see when you think about that conversation?
It's a step in the right direction. I was fortunate to be down in the bubble, the Orlando bubble, when, the NBA first started kind of taking that stance, and a lot of players that weren't down there, WNBA alike, just kind of getting out in front of it and really allowing our voice to be heard. So it's great that, they're doing things to kind of show that we're moving the needle a little bit. And, Coach Kerr said it best is like, these kind of things are like a cruise ship. It's going to take a while, but we stay consistent and persistent. I think in due time, people start to, things will start to change. And maybe that sentence yesterday, saved a lot of lives of a lot of other people. Maybe, cops and policemen will have that on their conscience now, that, that won't be tolerated. And if you choose to do that, they'll take, you spend the rest of your life in prison. So I'm happy that, that the needle's starting to be moved, and, we still got a lot of work to do.
Kent, you kind of alluded to this before when you said take away the final score, and there's still good things to take away from this game. So how do you feel about, moving forward, if it is just fatigue after getting a little bit of rest, to be able to snap back to how you guys were playing leading up to tonight?
Yeah, I've had conversations with my teammates, individually, and it's, my message is, regardless of what happens between now and, wherever we end up, we have to remember that, remember the team we can be, because it's a long season. You go through your ebbs and flows, and it's just staying, conscious of who you are, the best you can be. And, the enthusiasm on a daily basis is still the same, regardless of how we feel physically. The will to win, the optimism that we're going to win is still there as a unit. We believe in each other from top to bottom. So, things are moving in the right direction, and that's all you can, pretty much ask for.
It's only a 2-game sample size, but have you seen Kelly Oubre kind of embrace his new role? Do you feel like he's had the right attitude about coming off the bench?
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, we are all out there trying to win. It's you get to a certain point in the season where none of that stuff even matters. It's just all about getting it done. The playoffs are in sight, and the Larry O'Brien trophy's in sight. So, he's been around long enough to understand that none of that stuff matters. It's just about when you're out there seizing your opportunity, and he's done that. First time back in Philly, first play, spin move, 2-hand dunk. That's how you reintroduce yourself, and we're here for it. We know how special he is defensively with his energy, offensively playing above the rim. It's a totally different dynamic for us, and we're just happy that he's on our squad.
What kind of fire do you see in him? He's got 24 points, 9 rebounds, 2 big blocks as well.
He's an animal, man. I mean, he's, being lefty, 6'6", 6'7". I've seen him, coming into DC. I was playing in Atlanta. Similar position, come off the bench, bring the energy, couple high-flying dunks, couple high-flying blocks, and I've always rooted for him. So it's just good that we can, we share the same locker room and still learn a lot from each other.
Let's check this tweet out in a second from Warriors PR here on Twitter about Steph Curry passing up World Be Free. And look at that, World Be Free, Mullen. What type of player was he as Steph Curry is now 75 on the all-time list?